Hello to all of our friends out there in YouTube. Lane, it's your good buddy Philtastic Phil here. Excuse me.
Hi.
And my beautiful wife and our little girl. Do you want to say anything? It'd be interesting if she said anything because she's only 7 months old. And welcome back to the channel. So today, in just a few moments, I'm going to talk about my artwork in the recent Comics Curing Cancer art book, Volume 1. But first, I'm going to just open up the book of giving you my first impression, along with some other goodies I got from the Comics Curing Cancer crowd here. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I did do a video talking about my motivation for being involved in the project. Comics Curing Cancer, in case you don't know, is a group of YouTubers, just volunteers, who basically are helping to raise money for the fight against cancer. You know, it is a sanctioned fundraiser through the American Cancer Society. You may know every October there is a big kind of weekend of activity, including auctions and prizes. And if you don't know, you need to get involved. And luckily this year, the committee, I guess you could say, or the core group, Rob Fatstacks, Mark from Legion of Comics, and DJ Lynx have kind of expanded the scope of Comics Curing Cancer. And as a result, we have the art book here. And I was very happy to be selected as one of the artists to donate something towards this. So let me stop collaborating here. Before I show off the book, I'm going to show off a couple of other things. So first, I received an envelope, and you're not seeing the front because it's got his address on it and my address, from Mr. Rob Fatstacks. That is a thank you, and I will read this. Thank you. You are our hero. In special recognition of your generous contributions in support of Comics Curing Cancer, we would like to present you with this challenge coin. The Comics Curing Cancer challenge coin is only being presented to a handful of donors who have made significant contributions to the campaign. Without your assistance, we may have fallen short of our goal. We hope that your example will challenge others to join our fight against the ultimate supervillain, cancer. Thank you. And just like it says on here, in case you don't know about Comics Curing Cancer, there's a QR code. I don't know if it's going to scan on your screens here, but give it a shot. And it says, you don't have to be a superhero to save lives. I was going to attempt to read that backwards, but that seemed like a recipe for disaster. Hence the turnaround. And Rob included his C3 business card. Here's all of Rob's information. This is probably the best place to go to for information on Comics Curing Cancer. You can Google it, yes, but I know from doing it in the past, I've run into instances where it comes up with comedy shows, you know, for the same reason. So I would say go to Rob's YouTube, Instagram or YouTube, and he probably has a ton of links for it. First, he also included this cool magnet that I'm going to see if I could, I don't know in my new office if I'm going to have a metal filing cabinet, and I say that, yeah, because it's got that nice QR code on there. And that's just clever marketing, I would think, is just including that QR code there. Just because, again, if somebody's walking by your desk, they're interested, you can say, oh yeah, just scan the code. And they've included it on some stickers and some mailers too. So again, here is the challenge coin. It's got some heft to it here. It says significant contributor award.
Is it worth anything?
It's worth a lot. That's the whole point. You don't have to be a superhero to save lives. And on the back, every cancer, every life, together we can save lives. The American Cancer Society there. And it's got some weight to it. Here, feel that, honey. Feel it.
I'm touching her daughter.
My wife is afraid because it was in the mail.
I would rather be...
Even though I've had it in the basement for like 2 weeks now.
I don't know. I'm
Well,
holding
like I said, it's got some good heft
yeah,
to
I
it.
can see it. It's thick. It's
Okay.
nice.
Before I show you the book, I am going to show you, by the way, DJ Lynx on his big cartel page. It's his shopping page. Was selling a couple links actually for Comics Curing Cancer. I recently unboxed a Spider-Man print, I think from that artist by the name of Brand Flakes. Don't quote me on that. I might have the right name wrong. I'll put a link to that. And I'll put also a link in the description of the video for DJ Lynx's store for this. And again, when I say store, I mean everything again goes towards Comics Curing Cancer. unless it says otherwise. So this is actually one of the artists who contributed to the book, and I got to see this. I'll get into that in a minute, but I got to see the progress of this, and this is a very cool print of his. He did Superman as a drawing. You'll have to excuse the glare. My wife has the TV on here, and I really like this so much. I actually bought one for a friend who I'm going to send it to, and if you're watching, you probably know who you are and just act surprised.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I typically don't like a cartoony style myself, but this is an exception. This is awesome. This is from Ignacio. It's from Ignacio di Migliglio. Just Ignacio. That's how I
See, there's still a glare.
know of him. Well, that's because of the light. You don't get. There was a big blue glare because of the Roku home screen. Very cool. And I mean, I'll be honest, I have not cracked open this book yet, but from what I've seen, we had a little kind of page where we just kind of shared ideas and stuff in progress, and now that the book is out, you know, you're starting to see, if you go on Instagram, people's full artwork and everything. We got to see a lot of progress, and that for me as an artist who is at more times than not unsure of his own abilities, it was great just to connect, just to connect with other artists. You really feed off of each other's energy. So when we started this endeavor many months ago, probably longer, it was probably almost, I don't think it was almost a year, but it feels like that. Because I remember my whole thought was I'm going to get it done while I was on parental leave with this little girl. And I did most of my work then. But
Maternity.
yeah, what'd I say?
You said parental.
No, companies refer to it the same way. You know, the rules were of our group, you could only pick one character. Like, so there wouldn't be 50 pages of Spider-Man, for example. And it had to be somewhat cancer related. And we, no matter what medium we did, you had to also be able to send your original artwork in, which you'll be able to bid on if you'd like in October. So again, this is the first time I'm opening up this book. This isn't an unboxing because I opened it already. Opened up the packages because I gave a copy to my mother-in-law, a copy to my mother. My dad didn't want one. Maybe he will after he sees this. But this is the first time that my work has also been printed. So I'm going to show my wife the cover. This is a Spider-Man cover by Austin LeMay, great artist. And this print I know is available for sale as well. So right off the bat, nice little introduction page about Comics Curing Cancer, and table of contents listing the 23 artists, including the cover, who were involved in this project. I should say this too. This is not. This bears to be said. These are not the only artists within our community. There's a ton of great artists through their little comic book YouTube stuff that just aren't in here. And I imagine that if everybody was included, this would be more like a phone book that tells you how old I am, I guess, than anything else. So I'm gonna just start flipping through the pages and just kind of show some off here. So here we have a Dr. Mario from Maddie Freeze. This is what I'll do. Just so I'm not going back and forth, I'm gonna read off the characters and the artists, and then I'll flip through some of them here. This covers Austin LeMay, the Spider-Man. Dr. Mario is Maddie Freeze. Mr. Freeze is Taylor Winder. Leonardo is by Dallas Anderson. Groot is by Geek Out with Roscoe. Roscoe, I want to see that one. He's been a little under wraps with it, I think. Captain America by Dan Neidlinger, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce anybody's name. The Howling Commandos by Scott Morse. Green Lantern by James Pascal. Godzilla by Michael Rushbrook. I remember seeing that one. Wolverine by Thomas Zabarinsky. That one was cool. I remember seeing that one too. They're all cool. Don't get me wrong. These are as they come to me. Deadpool by Brian Silverbacks. All-Star Superman by Ignacio, as we just saw. Thor by Izzyverse. Okay, that'll be interesting. I like Izzy's stuff a lot. Spider-Man by Austin LeMay. Adam Warlock by A Comic Book Worm. Naman, I want to see this one. Naman and I had a little back and forth, a good back and forth. So I'm curious to see Ant-Man and Wasp by Chattel Arts. The Incredible Hulk by Javier Salas. Daredevil Kingpin by Brand Flakes Art. That's the guy who did the Spider-Man one. Spider-Man print. Rescue by Dale of Suspense. Wonder Woman by me. Angel by A Comic Book Journey. I'm interested in seeing his stuff. Swamp Thing by Actual Dracula. And Donna Rogers by Sheldon Eastman. Before I continue, I gotta say, Comic Journey, you always bag on me for talking about X-Men too much, and you went with Angel from the X-Men, honey. Remember the wings?
Mm-hmm.
So here, let's just flip through. So right off the bat, and this gives you some diversity here. You got Dr. Mario on one page, and Mr. Freeze, which I remember seeing this one, I like it a whole lot from Taylor Winder. So here's Dr. Mario, and here's Mr. Freeze.
These are someone's artwork?
These are, yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna try to be quick with it too. Yeah, that's an awesome Leonardo. I like that. In less than it kind of looks like an army recruitment sketch. And yeah, man, Roscoe outdid himself. I'm not gonna show them all, I think, just because I want you to go and buy it. I'm gonna show my wife. Yeah, look at Roscoe with Groot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, Leonardo is awesome too. Wow, the Captain America was much. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect here. Oh wow, too, this Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos.
Are the artists' names on there?
Yeah, well, I guess if they included it, some did. Yeah, no, they're very small. Yeah, I'm gonna show this page off. And this, I'm gonna assume that this is a purposeful decision to put Captain America and the Howling Commandos together. They both go together very well. Yeah. Green Lantern's awesome. Godzilla, wow, that's cool.
Is he? Holy cow.
I'm noticing, I was waiting for her to ask. My wife did not comment on the Jon Stewart Green Lantern because she's familiar with Ryan Reynolds, but not. Did you know there's a black Green Lantern?
No. Or your favorite X-Men?
Yeah, Wolverine and Deadpool is cool too.
Yeah.
These are both very well done. Here's Ignacio's. This is the one that we just saw. This is a splash page.
Wow.
I think this translates much better as a print. And to be honest with you, every single one of these could easily be a print. So if you get this, it's like, oh, this is cool. That Jane Foster, I think that's Izzy's, if I'm not mistaken. I think of this as like a book of prints. Adam Warlock, it's awesome. Ant-Man and Wasp. I do remember seeing the early sketches for Ant-Man. That one is eye-popping. Yeah. And wow, the Hulk. Oof. You feel the power in this page. I might show this one off. And Brand Flakes, without even remembering who did what, I could definitely recognize his style now. Brand Flakes, I don't know you, at least I don't think I know you, but based on this and based on the Spider-Man piece, your stuff kind of reminds me a lot of Mike Del Mundo, who happens to be one of my favorite artists.
Okay.
So, pretty awesome.
Oh my gosh.
So. Mine feels like crap now compared to these. Okay, mine's on the next page. Rescue, I remember seeing, was cool. And then here's, mine actually came out really good. If I say so for myself, I don't know. I don't mean to sound a certain way with that, but I like how it came out.
Yeah. Let me see.
I lost a little translation, I think, in the hair. But other than that, I really like it.
I like that. Yeah, wow.
I'm not going to show you off mine because we're going to talk about mine, so you're going to see it on the screen here. Angel, yeah, CJ, you did a great job. And the Swamp Thing, I remember even looking at today and just, bam, look at that.
Holy cow. That's talent.
And on the back, I don't know who this is on the back. Did it say that? Let me see. There's a surprise one on the back here. Let's see. Oh, no, it did. Donna Rogers. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know off the top of my head comic-wise who Donna Rogers is, but I like this piece a lot, too.
Let me see. What is it supposed to be at?
It's Donna Rogers.
Where's that?
Like I said, I don't know offhand, but I think the piece itself is well done. What's great too is the back page plugs the upcoming Comics Curing Cancer YouTube event from October 4th to 6th, featuring comic book auction. Excuse me, let me try to talk like I can speak English. Featuring comic book auctions, original comic book art auctions, live draw and sell sessions, giveaways, and much, much more. And again, there's a QR code on the back so you could follow along easily. And then you've got Rob, DJ Links, and Mark from Legion of Comics insignia. And on the back too is just a nice QR code to donate to Comics Curing. So what we're gonna do now, as I'm sealing my copy up, I'm gonna shoot to talking about my original art, or my art for this book, which you'll see shortly, why I made some of the decisions I did, and then I'm gonna come back with a little message about how you can get this book if you haven't already. This is my completed artwork for the Comics Curing Cancer Art Book Volume 1. I call this Hope. The title of this piece, I should say rather, is Hope, and of course it's starring Wonder Woman. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the decisions I made in here. First and foremost, you may notice that this is not the Wonder Woman we know from the DCU. It's not Gal Gadot. That was a conscious decision on my part because I didn't want to tie the character into one kind of time and one kind of place. And at the same time, the way I see it is that although Wonder Woman is in the picture, she is not the focus of this picture. I wanted to make this an uplifting piece. You know, when you're saying, hey, I'm going to do a book about curing cancer, about comics curing cancer, you know, it's easy to delve into, when we think of cancer, actually, I should say, it's easy to delve into the negatives, of course, but I really wanted to embrace the fact that there can be a cure, and there are people who survive, and hopefully one day, with all of us working together, we could make it so that all afflicted have survived. And really, that's the point of the piece. That was my inspiration. If you happen to bid on some of the original artwork when it comes into October, into the October auction, I should say, the original artwork will be up for auction. You may notice that as I was drawing the piece, I kind of wrote down little inspirational quotes, and that's really what kind of kept me going, I guess you could say, or kept me moving in the right direction. If you've seen any of my work before, you may note that this piece doesn't really quite look like things I've been producing as of late. At the time, I was doing more kind of black and white work, and to be honest with you, that was my intention. And hey, I'm just gonna, you know, make this in black and white. I'm not gonna make it a burst of color, just because I wanted to stick by what I was comfortable with at the time. But I do have to say that the motivation of the other artists in the group, not necessarily by their words, though I did have a couple heart-to-heart talks, I guess you could say, but just really by how great the artwork was coming out, I knew I had to kind of push my boundaries. So I slowly went into, again, a black and white style, which even this as it shows is not my current style, to really something like what you saw today. I did at one point add a light source, and really that was more just so I can keep track of where my shadows and light should be. You can see at this point I did start to envision a little bit of a background in the shadow of the windowsill. Even to be honest, looking at it right now, the window looks a little off to me. But that's just, of course, you know, when I do a piece, I feel like it's never perfect, so it's never quite done, which is a pit that is common for artists to fall into. So eventually, after, you know, mixing all the elements, and again, getting inspired by my fellow artists involved in the project, I did decide to do the splash into color, which I'll go right back and show you here. And as you saw, this is the final product. Again, Wonder Woman comforting a cancer patient who, in my mind, has gone through remission, and she's looking hopeful at the future. Or maybe she's almost at the end of her journey, and it's coming up in a positive way. And you can see the hospital bed and whatnot in the background here. Overall, I'm very happy with the piece. Like I said, it was a labor of love. If you saw my previous video about my motivation for the piece, then you know really what was important to me. So again, this is the piece as it appears in the Comics Curing Cancer book, and stay tuned for the rest of the video. So initially, these books were only being sold at Heroes Con this past weekend. However, there's some left over. A very limited amount of these comics are left over. Go ahead and go to the Comics Curing Cancer site. The DJ Links' page, I think, also had, actually, go to DJ Links' page which I'm putting again in the description of this video. And you can get a copy of this. Get 2-3 copies. Give them out to people. I might even just get a second copy to just keep at my desk at work just to show people. I don't know. My wife's giving me a look. I don't know. What do you think? Baby?
Needs to go to bed.
She needs to go to bed. Well, we're gonna wrap this up then. This is my little pitch here. Look, this book, $20. You might be saying, I don't know, $20 for a bunch of, there's amateurs and professionals, but from a bunch of sketches from people who maybe not be normal.
Amateur.
Well, I appreciate that, but $20 for people who aren't officially in the industry, and I can't get this slabbed or whatever, and you know, is it going to increase in value? Well, here's the thing. $20 might not buy you value as far as you're going to flip this in 5 or 10 years, but it's more valuable because you are helping the fight against cancer, and hopefully, just maybe, you might be saving a life that way. I'll put it to you this way. That $20 that you were going to probably spend on getting a spec book is wasted, okay? Look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, little girl. Look, you don't have to buy any of your books. You're going to get Daddy's books one day when you're grown up, okay? And I'm going to make sure that the important ones are still there for you, okay? Like Turok. She was getting upset, but here. True talk. Look, that $20 you were going to spend on the first appearance of Cassandra Nova, it's going to be worth $4 by the time the movie comes out. And let's face it, Cassandra Nova, if there's been 4 stories about her, 3 of them have sucked. That last one especially. I don't know what the hell was happening with Steve Orlando on the Marauders, but that's my opinion. My point is, it's $20. Okay, they're not asking for $1,000. They're not asking for $100. $20, and you can save a life and enjoy some art that I hope you think is great in the meantime. So go ahead to DJ Lynx's website, order yourself a copy, order 2. That's my pitch. I guess you could say that's my story. I'm sticking to it. You don't like that pitch either? You want to smile at least? A little bit? Okay. Tough critic. And like I said, DJ Lynx website in the description. Get a copy, get 2 copies, get 3 copies. Peace, love, and comics.